Hi there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Praying Medic. Here's today's message. Good morning. This is Praying Medic. This morning I'm going to teach you how to create a file you can upload to Kindle Direct Publishing to publish an ebook from a basic Word document. There are a lot of different programs you can use to create Kindle files. Some people like using Scrivener. I have another program that I use. There are a lot of ways you can do it, but this is a way I found that works really easy. It's very simple, and it doesn't cost anything. So what I've got here is a basic Word document. I've got about 5 or 6 chapters and an introduction. This is an actual book I'm going to be publishing soon. I just wanted to show you real quickly what the document looks like. So I've got the title up here, and I've got, by Praying Medic in my introduction. And really, it's just simple text. There's no fancy formatting. I've got italics here for one scripture verse. But as you scroll through the document, you see this is first tour. This will be a chapter. Second tour, third tour. The book basically follows the outline of the movie American Sniper. So we have fourth tour, and then we've got a last chapter on between tours. And it's just a simple Word document, nothing fancy. One thing I'd like to say is this. When you create a print book, you want to create a print file that has really nice formatting. You want the book to look the way you want it to look. But when you're creating a Kindle book, you're creating a file that's going to be displayed on a lot of different devices. And every device is going to display it somewhat differently. You're not really able to determine how that book is going to display on someone's iPhone or their iPad or their Kindle reader or their computer. What you really need to do with an ebook is to create a file that has as minimal formatting as possible. So what I do is I create a file in a very simple type font. I use Garamond, but you can use Times New Roman. As long as you're using a serif font, it usually works pretty well. I don't recommend using sans serif fonts like Arial. Serif fonts are generally found to be easier for people to read. So I always use Garamond. I use 12 point. You don't need to use a very big type font size. 12 point is more than adequate for most books. Other than using a little bit of bold and italics, I don't use any other formatting in an ebook. The other thing I want to say is Microsoft Word tends to add a lot of formatting that you don't want to be in your Kindle book. So when I'm working with a file that I'm going to use for Kindle, I always save it as a rich text file, an RTF. One thing you'll want to do is to create a linked table of contents for your ebook. That's really simple to do in Microsoft Word, and I'll show you how to do that right now. To create the table of contents, go to the tab that says References and go to Table of Contents. Click on that, and you'll see a drop-down menu. You can select from whatever kind of table of contents you want. I just go with contents to keep it simple. Now you'll see a dialog box that opens that asks you to select styles from the gallery to select the actual chapters you want to add to the contents. Don't worry about that, just click OK. And now you're going to see we've got a table of contents with no table contents of entries found. That's because we haven't added them yet. So now we're going to go through and we're going to select the actual chapters for the table of contents. To create the list of chapters in your table of contents, all you need to do now is select the text that will be the title for each chapter and give it a designation as one of the headings. As long as you select either heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3 for a text, that will tell Microsoft Word to put it in the table of contents. So I'm going to select my introduction. I'm going to give it the heading 3 style. You'll notice that it makes the text a little larger, and it also centers the text over the body. I actually like that for the ebook format. The other thing it does is it adds a page break before this new chapter. And I like that because I want each of my chapters to start on its own page. So I'm going to go through the document and take all of my text for my chapter and make it heading 3. And you'll see again, it made the text slightly larger, it centered it, and created a page break before it. I'm just going to do that to the rest of them. Once I've got all my chapter headings selected, I've got to do a couple more things. Now, if you want your table of contents to display, all you need to do is go back to the References tab, click on it, and click Update Table, and it'll add what you've just selected as chapters. So now you can see we've got our chapters here, the intro and then the other chapters. Now you'll notice it has page numbers for the chapter. I don't usually include pages in my Kindle books. So now I'm going to go back to the Table of Contents button, click on that, and all I want to do is open the dialog box that allows me to get rid of the page numbers. So come down here to Insert Table of Contents and it'll open the dialog box. Click on that and you'll see a box here that says Show Page Numbers. I'm going to uncheck that box, select OK. Do I want to replace the selected table of contents? Yes, and now the page numbers are gone. All I have is my list of chapters. That's how I want it to display. Now, I like to have things centered as much as possible, and you can actually center this table of contents if you want. All you need to do is select it, go to the Home tab, and hit Center. The problem is the contents title itself will not, and because it won't center, it looks a little bit odd. So I'm actually going to undo that and leave it left justified. Before I go on and publish the book to Kindle, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go up here and select this little paragraph symbol, which shows hidden characters in the document. I recommend going through and checking for extra returns, extra shift returns, and extra things that you don't want in the document. One of the things that is common with readers of Kindle books is they complain about formatting problems. So I go through and I make sure all my paragraph styles are the way they should be. Now, one of the things that I'm going to notice here is there should be a little paragraph break and a blank line between each paragraph. Here, there's not a paragraph break. There's actually a shift return, and there's two shift returns. I'm going to get rid of these by taking this text, hitting the backspace, putting it up against that, and then hitting the Enter key. That takes away the two shift returns and just leaves a nice paragraph. I'm going to go through my document and see if there are any other problems. Now here, I've got some extra spacing that shouldn't be there. There should only be one line of space, as you can see down here. Here I've got two lines of space. So I'm going to go up here and remove this extra paragraph return, and here's another one. I'm going to remove that one. All I want is one line of space, one paragraph break between each paragraph. I'm just going to quickly scan my document and make sure there aren't any more problems. And as far as I can see, everything else looks good. Now I'm going to turn off the Hidden Styles option. Now I want to add some front matter to the book. I have my front matter already in another document, so I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. I have a standard copyright page that I use for all of my Kindle books. I'm just going to copy and paste this text and put it into my other document. I'm going to replace this with this. If I use scripture quotations, I leave this in here. If I don't have scripture quotations, I take it out. Now I want my table of contents to appear on its own page, so I'm going to move my cursor right before it, and I'm going to insert a page break. That'll move the table of contents down to its own page. I also want to add a dedication and acknowledgments. So I'm going to copy and paste that. You can leave the dedication and acknowledgments on the same page as the title page if you want, or you can create a different page for them. It's your choice. I'm just going to create a little space and copy and paste. If you create your acknowledgments, your dedication, and your title page after you create the table of contents, that information won't show up in the table of contents, and I prefer it that way. I don't actually want the front matter to appear in the table. If you add in your copyright page, your dedication and acknowledgments first, and then create the table of contents, you'll have an extra link in there for the title page in the table of contents. If you want, you can leave it in there. If you don't want it, you can just delete it. I'm going to do one more thing before I save this file for publishing. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom of my document, and I'm going to add some back matter. Because I have other books that I've published, I want to create a page where people can find links to my other books. And so now I'm going to insert a page break. I've got the information I want to appear here saved in another document, so I'm going to copy and paste that in. Basically what I have is an image and a link to another book that I want people to look at after they're done reading this book. So I'm going to copy and paste this information. Now when people get to the end of my book, if they want to go check out another book, they can go to this one. Link. If you're a blogger and you have an Amazon affiliate link, you might want to make this link point to your Amazon affiliate link. Let me show you how to create this hypertext link. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to highlight it and delete it. I'll copy and paste the text here, down here. And now this is the link to my Amazon affiliate page. I'm going to copy this and delete it. And now, if you highlight this text, insert hyperlink, paste in your link from your Amazon affiliate, click OK. Now I've got a link to my book. So when people get done reading, they can go there and get my next book. At this point, we're ready to save the file and upload it to Kindle. So now I'm going to save the file. Make sure it saves as a rich text file and not a Word document, rich text format. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to upload it to Kindle. On my KDP dashboard, I'm going to open up the project that I've been working on. Here I've got my information for the book, the title, put in a description, all the other things that they ask you to do. Upload your cover file. I've already done that. And now 6, upload your book file. I'm going to click this one, Browse for your content file. I'm going to select the file I just saved. I'm going to open that. It'll take a few minutes for the upload and for the processing, so we'll wait about 2 minutes and it should convert it pretty quickly. So once the file has been converted, it'll show you that it's been uploaded and it's been converted. It'll do a quick spell check and suggest there are no spelling errors. I would not rely on this. Do your own spell checking. Have somebody edit your document just to make sure. Now it's time to preview. The first thing I'm going to do is download the book file and open it in the Calibre ebook program. After that, I'll come back and preview the book online. So I'll go here, select Show in Folder, and I'm going to open with Calibre. If you don't have the Calibre program, you might consider getting it. It's actually pretty cool. It allows you to view ebooks. You can also convert ebooks to different file formats. You can convert EPUB to MOBI and back and forth. So I'm going to open my book here, have a look at it. This is the best way to verify that your ebook is actually the way you want it to look. So here's my cover image. I'm not going to use this cover image. This is just an example. I'm going to look at my front matter. Here's my copyright page. Your copyright page doesn't have to be real complicated. This is something we came up with. I always put a link to my website on the copyright page so people can get to my website. That looks fine. Dedication and acknowledgments looks good. And here's my table of contents. These are links. If I click on the links, it should take me to the different chapters. And there's a divine invitation. If I go back, click on another title, Between Tours, first tour. So the link table of contents seems to be working just fine. I'm going to check out my link at the very back to make sure that it looks okay. Scroll down to the bottom, and there's my link to my other book. So everything looks good on here. I'm going to quickly preview the book on the online previewer. This gives you the option to see how the Kindle book will display on different Kindle devices. You can see how it, like for example, this is a Fire HDX. This is how the book will display. Here's my table of contents. Looks fine. I'm going to click on a couple of links. Between tours takes me to the right page. I'll go back to the table of contents and check another link. We'll go to third tour. That looks fine. I'm also going to look at the document and make sure there is no extra line breaks and no missing breaks. Before you publish the book, I would recommend going through the entire document, looking for formatting issues, looking for missing lines breaks, missing for extra breaks, and looking for anything that looks out of the ordinary. This file actually looks really good. It displays nicely. I don't see any problems with this, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to hit the back arrow on my browser. I like the file the way it is, so now I'm just going to click down here, save and continue, and I can continue the process. The next step in the process is I'll go to the next tab, set the price on the book, and then hit the publish button. So that is how you create a linked table of contents and upload a Word document for Kindle Direct Publishing. I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions, you can leave them in comments below.
Thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed today's message. You might consider sharing it with your friends. You can do that through the links provided below the video. If you have questions or comments, my email address is admin@prayingmedic.com. If you haven't visited my website, I have a lot of articles and videos there that you might want to check out. It's www.prayingmedic.com. You can also connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for dropping by, and I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel.